What's up, Blade fam? So now that we're done foam rolling, if you saw my previous videos that I posted earlier, they cover foam rolling, different types of foam rollers, why you should foam roll. If you haven't checked that video out, go ahead and check that out. These stretches that we're gonna do are to be performed most ideally after foam rolling. Again, I explain why, but yeah, let's go over it and check out these stretches. All right, so let's go into the very first stretch that we're gonna do. We're gonna focus on the hip flexors and progressively move our ways down to our knees. This is just gonna be covering our quads. I can't put enough emphasis on how much we use our quads while skating. That's typically where we get tight, and it could actually be causing us our back pain and whatnot. When our hip flexors get tight, they pull our pelvis forward and our butt pops up, and then we get this back pain. So this stretch is going to help alleviate that. What we're going to do is go ahead and take a knee. You're going to go into 90 degrees. Keep your knee and your toe and your hip aligned on each side. So take a little bit of time to get in the right posture. And then what you're going to do is you're going to squeeze your glute and drive your pelvis up and forward. Kind of elongate the spine, stretch out. And you're going to hold for about 30 seconds to a minute. What I've been doing is going for 30 seconds and then alternating 30 seconds and then going back 30 seconds. And I'll do that 3 rounds, so averaging out about 90 seconds totally stretched, but doing it in 30-second increments. Okay, after performing that stretch, what I like to do is change it up a little bit. So by hitting again the 90 degrees in the front, this time I'm gonna take my foot and I'm gonna pull it slightly out that direction. That changes the angle that you're stretching. Find where you're comfortable, and again, do the same thing. You're gonna squeeze the glute, drive the pelvis forward, and breathe, holding for 30 seconds. To deepen the stretch, you can pick up your arm and reach over, and that's gonna get inside of the abdominal muscles, your hip flexors, and really open up. I'll do this after I've performed the 3 rounds of 30 seconds in the first stretch. Okay, now moving on to the quads. After we've loosened up our hip flexors, we can progressively work our way down. What I like to do for the quads, you can do this against a bed, a wall, a couch, a bench, a ledge. It's as long as you can find yourself into this position. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna place your foot on top of the apparatus that you choose. You're gonna get your hip aligned down with your knee. Again, a 90-degree angle here. Place your hands here, and you're gonna pull up in your chest while driving down in your knees, squeezing your glute and pulling forward. This is a very deep stretch for the quads, but man, after holding this for 90 seconds, a minute, you'll see what I'm talking about. This just loosens everything up. Okay, after we've done this side, remember we're hitting both sides. Switching over, same thing, keep the knee aligned with the hip. Your 90-degree angle here, place your hands on your knee, driving the chest up. Now, if you are right foot or right leg dominant or left leg dominant, you may want to spend a little more time on that side. Those muscles tend to get a little more tighter than our weaker side, unless you're like a Eugene Ennin where you switch and skate both feet all the time. I've noticed definitely my right leg tends to be a little tighter than my left, especially because I'm right foot dominant. So go ahead and try that out, see if that works, focusing on one side more than the other because of our imbalances. All right, so our last stretch is gonna be just a very simple one. What we're gonna do is come down to the ground. You're gonna place your right foot next to your hip here. You can bring this leg across like that. And what you're gonna do is try and keep your knee down to the ground and lift the pelvis forward and up, and you'll get a nice stretch through this part here of your leg. You can walk your elbows down, deepening the stretch, but if your knee comes up, it's not in the right form anymore. So what you're really trying to do is keep that knee down and lift the pelvis up. And you're gonna focus on your breathing, holding for about 30 seconds to a minute, and then switching to the other side. Again, placing the heel right to the side of the hip, Thrusting the pelvis forward, keeping the knee down, and focusing on elongating these muscles and stretching through here. Can alternate again from side to side, 30 seconds each side, go for 3 rounds, that's 90 seconds. Okay, so those 3 exercises really sum up my stretching routine that I perform on my quads. If you're not stretching, I can't emphasize on how important it is to stretch. I know we tend to look at skating as it's just a pastime, a hobby, but at the end of the day, it is physical exercise and our muscles do get tightened up. Stretching helps prevent us getting injured, you know, in my experience, because of my flexibility and my mobility, when I've taken falls and my legs are all mangled up and I kind of no longer in control, I now have to rely on those things, my mobility and my flexibility that I've practiced to help not get injured. So if you're not stretching, let's go ahead and do something fun. Let's do a 30-day challenge. You know, we've got 30-day challenges for fucking everything. But this is challenging. That's why we don't do it. And so let's do a 30-day stretching challenge, a 30-day mobility challenge. Take the next 30 days, spend 20 minutes in the morning or in the evening, or both if you can, and stretch. Leave a like or a comment below and let me know what your experience is as the time goes by. If you're not subscribed already, I appreciate all of the support and follows. Check out my Instagram at Acosta Blades. And yeah, stretch those muscles out and let's get back to mobility. My next video is going to cover hamstrings, so stay tuned. Aloha. Channel 11 News here. We're trying to figure out why we need to be stretching. If I have to answer that question on why we need to be stretching, you definitely need to be subscribing to my videos and watching these videos, because stretching is important.